All right, everybody, here we are again. I'm trying to cover as much space as I can in this span of time we have. So I appreciate it. We jumped into a lot of sort of the unknown, some of the unknown classic rock period, mix of sort of R&B, funk, the last few. And if we're going to kind of jump into a little bit offshoot of that, but we're going to do a little bit of spotlight on R&B, some of the R&B, and I'm going to do a pretty long one this time. So we're going to have about 8 different sections, 8 different selections, I should say, and we're going to put them probably into 3 or 4 parts, either 2 or 3 per episode. I'm just, this is just about digging through some stuff and just really finding some gems out there. And, at any age, I keep looking, keep searching for stuff. So this is what this is for. Not going to play the greatest hits of anything. It's just not. There's plenty of stuff out there if you want to explore that and have fun doing it. For new people, yeah, same thing. You're going to sort of jump into the water and find a lot of the obvious choices, the big choices that have been out there. Everybody knows them. But I'm going to, save some time and jump into some of the stuff that's a little bit harder to find and slips through the cracks a lot of times. So that's what we're jumping into. This one had, a special, this one hit me because this came out in the early 80s, 1983. And this was not something that I was in that field, in that orbit listening to. Unless it hit me over the head, came on the radio like everybody else. And I don't know if it did. It might have, but this one, later in life, maybe a couple years ago, heard this. I don't know if I heard the album. There's a couple songs on this, and I actually, asked some other people on YouTube to play one of their other songs on the album. They did a rendition of Angie from the Rolling Stones, which was really, really interesting take on it. A very sparse, beautiful take of Angie. But I'm going to do their title track called Love Wars. I love the content. And the music, it stood out. I was like, oh, this is different. This has got something a little different. And we'll talk about it more. But a long list of performers on this one. You got the Womacks, basically. This is a Womack and Womack track called Love Wars, 1983. You got Cecil on bass, guitars, and vocals, Linda on vocals, Lenny Castro on percussion, Paulino da Costa on percussion, Nathan East on bass. I think we know Nathan East. He played with Clapton for a while in his touring band. James Gatson on drums, Abraham Laborio on bass. I think some people know him. Neil Larson on synth, guitar, and piano. Denzel Miller on keyboard, Eddie Gipp Noble synth. And then you got a lot of background vocals. You got Bobby Womack, Curtis Womack, Friendly Womack Jr., Naomi Womack, and Noel Stacy Womack. So they had a lot to grab from in that family. Womack and Womack, Love Wars. Check it out. Love Wars.
The heart go fonder, but it's taking me under. Since you're not here, oh, I feel so all alone at times. It's bitter when it's hard to get, but this hide and go seek it's making me weak. Oh, I'm weak all over now. I promise to stop boxing you round, so don't scratch my face. Tender running, oh, the fight is all over now. We need to get our act together, take it on the street, bring it on home, and drop them guns on the floor. We the tracks from when you left with my best friend.
We need to get our act together, take it off the street, bring it on home and drop them guns on the floor. Make love for peace in the name of never cheat. Vow to be strong and let the band roll on.
Stop these. We don't need. We need out. And we can't stand no. We don't need. No. I want it to be all over now. Come on back home, darling.
All right. Oh man, this is so infectious. Again, it's got a really straight beat. But the first thing I noticed, I really like, if you were just to play this on acoustic guitar, I mean, I feel like it would work. I can see them like, showing the people around them like this. Hey, I got this new song. Just break out the acoustic guitar, and the lyrics, the delivery, and everything. And I was like, oh, that's going to be great. Now you can just, how much do you want to put on there? How much do you want to add? You get the beat, the keyboards, the percussion, you get the background vocals. It just ascends it to like a new level. And obviously the background vocals and everything make this song, it's not, I wouldn't say it makes it better, because it's, like I said, I feel like it'd be just as good on acoustic. But it obviously brings out so much more of what it could be in the content and stuff like that. The love wars, such a cool little dichotomy. So anyway, yeah, when are we going to jump on this? I just want to say, yeah, so far everything, and those keyboard sounds, again, that 70s and 80s, those synth sounds, oh, they sound so lush, so beautiful. Anyway, let's continue this. We're going to talk a little bit more about the band and the making of this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's finish it off here.
The bombs exploding in there through the last one. I don't care. I remember losing my head and calling you back like dirty names. Oh, that ain't a filter top now, baby.
We need to get our act together, take it off the streets, bring it on home and drop them guns on the floor. Make love and peace in the name of never cheat. Vow to be strong and let the band roll on.
We can't stand no. It's all over.
In Gavin Martin, New Musical Express, March 17, 1984. It should really be no surprise that Cecil and Linda Womack's Love Wars LP is the most compulsive and acclaimed soul outing since the Marvin Gaye and Curtis Scorchers of 2 seasons back. Their credentials and background are impeccable. Barely out of diapers, they would engage in gospel singing evenings over at Sam Cooke's, who was Linda's father's house. At 13, Cecil, also with his brothers Bobby and Friendly, had a #1 hit with the Valentinos and Looking for a Love, while Linda just turned 14 and having spent many evenings with her father as he sat at the piano composing classics like Wonderful World, You Send Me, and wrote the best-selling I'm in Love single for Wilson Pickett. It was through Sam Cooke's involvement with the Valentinos that their pair originally met, Linda and Cecil. Soon afterwards, Cecil told Linda one day they would marry, and just like in the movies, they did. She was the daughter of Sam Cooke, as I said. Conceived as a concept of sorts, Love Wars is a visceral appraisal of their 15 years together, spiced with the joys and turmoils and a few wry observations on other couples they've known. The churning title cut, with its fiery choral work, referred to a man's woman deserting him for the best friend. Stuart Levine said, "Actually, I made that record totally opposite to the way I usually work. Nobody played live on it. Cecil Womack played it to me on an acoustic guitar in my hotel room." That's crazy. That's what I was like, I can imagine that. It sounds so good. I could hear that and be like, that's awesome. Cecil played it to me on an acoustic guitar in my hotel room an hour or so before we went into the studio. I suggested a couple of changes, and we put it down roughly on a Walkman. We were flying high on it, so we went straight down to the studio, and because the drummer hadn't turned up yet, we got together a quick pattern on a Lin so that Cecil could at least lay down a guitar and we can get the format. It began to feel really good at that point, and at the various as the musicians came in, we got them to add their ideas to the groove. That's the way the record happened, all done in a day. Wow, I did not know that, and I wrote that down a few weeks ago. That is crazy. That is beautiful, man. Just musicians come in and just throwing stuff right on top in the spur of the moment. Oh, man, I love that story. God, it really focused in on that percussion, because the beat is just like, it's on the 1 and 3, which is kind of maybe good at that time, but it's not what we usually think of with like R&B. But the percussion, I hear this tambourine just on, just doing really the offbeats. The keyboards are playing all on the offbeats. The everything else is just outside of that steady. It's just playing off of it. But yeah, love the lyrics, love the content. Yeah, so it's like, love bombs exploding in air. Who threw the last one? I really don't care. I remember losing my head and calling you things like dirty names. We need to get our act together and take it off the street. And that's why I like this. It's a mixture of like really harsh imagery, with fights and arguments, and the level of the physical nature of it, and then the positivity of what can we do, bring it on home and drop them guns on the floor. That's a really dark way of looking at it. But yeah, so I heard this and I was like, that's really interesting. I really like the take on that. So I think we're gonna keep going, but we're gonna take a pause right here, and then we're gonna keep on the next few, because I got a few to go. We're gonna break this up into 3 episodes or so, I think. And so we're gonna jump into those. But yeah, kick on to the next one. Appreciate you checking these out. I'm really looking for new stuff to do, so it's gonna depend on. I'm gonna throw some stuff out there on my own, but appreciate any interaction y'all may have. Take care.